Thank you for tuning in with Enchantress. That is me, the babbler. That is me on this revolutionary rise of enterprise at this time. So if you are tuning in, guys, I keep getting tongue-tied. Mercury's, I don't think it's even retrograde right now, and I don't even know why I'm getting tongue-tied. Tongue-tied. Okay. Cycle of life, increase back and forth. Okay, if you are tuning into this video, please note that this is video number 2. And so that although you are free to do whatever it is that you want to do, I strongly advise, because I'm just systematic in that kind of way, guys, and a little neurotic too. I like to do things in consecutive order just because it just, it's the neurotica in me. And so I would advise you, and eventually the link will be provided here in the description box below for you to see which video you should go watch first, and then watch this one second, which is in order. I'm just going to continue into my flow because babbler, that is all I know. That is my name, Enchantress, the babbler, in that kind of way, to know that I'm just going to continue with my flow. So now we have, right? We have on these lands cycles of increase that are happening no matter what it looks like. Okay, during our back and forth season right now of our present power, because in our present power we get to stand like and observe in our present power, and we get to see the back and forth, past, present, future kind of dynamic through our present power state of observation, right? So as we know, just as systems would flow, in order to make room for the new, you got to get rid of the old. So alright, it might appear that there's a lot of losses happening here, even in our system, in our market, in our society. Like, we're advised to stay in. There's people that are losing their jobs right now. There's people that don't have multiple sources of income or fallback money, savings, or anything like that to help themselves, and so there might be a freaking panic. But everybody's being advised, stay in, till this passes, or, whatever. And then, you're being fed through a system of controlled information that feeds the masses, right? So spirit's reaching out. And if you're tuning into here, you are more spiritually inclined than the person that's not tuning into here. And that's not placing judgment. That's just speaking rather factual. That if you're not tuning into Enchantress the Public, may one day you will. So, either way, we are here being guided in every kind of way by spirit, the ascendant masters, right? And I hate going into the element of like these kind of levelings of belief systems, because then it takes and picks apart like, oh well, my upbringing, and it triggers those kind of things for people to be like, I don't know what she means by spirit. I don't know what she means by God. I don't know what she means by goddess. I don't know what she means by devil. Like, all I know is like, what this means for me and this means for me. So like, oh, angels, like, I even had, like, I would connect with spirits, like, Shiva. Oh, what happened, my Shivas? Okay, so, and I was trying to develop my communication with what I'm communicating or perceived to be communicating with in this kind of way, like when I was acknowledging it from that kind of strain of 3D land. Okay, dude, you're having a conversation with spirit, man. What does that mean? What is that, like, what is that? Like, connecting, like making it tangible. See, like, we do so many things like this. We connect and we hide, and people are like, oh, have faith. And, you have these religious folks that when they come in and be like, oh, I go to church, I go to this, I follow scripture, I do all of this kind of stuff. And yet they lack in faith, the very thing that they claim to have or feel or connect with spirit. But when you go and you say spirit or do spirit, oh, going against God, or like, you know, like I'm speaking ignorantly right now. I'm not trying to like speak like in the sense of like specifics of you're gonna come here like to and be like, how can you, like, you know, that's blasphemous speaking, and save it. You can argue with yourself, because I won't, like, seriously, like, not invited into that like conversation table. But I am open, you are open to, you're free to do whatever the fudge you want, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's not even about that, so like I don't get into those kind of dynamics of arguing anyways. But yeah, so during this time of decrease, see, like, increase and decrease, like, so these are cycles, like 3 and 4, like, so the idea of like just systems, like our systems that have up until this point never been kind of like contested, or like it is theatrically, like we have this whole political system of like hierarchies and like governments and all this kind of stuff that dictate the mass, and you know, and hidden behind these are like entities, or like, you know, like energies that control the systems, like, you know, behind the scenes. And when you think about it abstractly, right, is that really a balanced system? You see, like, don't attack me, I'm just saying, like, it has, in that kind of way of order, it has always created an imbalance, because somebody's always higher up from somebody's seed. But like, what are we? Are we more than these bodies? You see, so then what do you mean hierarchy system? So even with that like sense of like communicating with spirit, and like, you know, all these kind of things, and going through like the psychological process of, am I crazy, schizo, hallucinating, delusional, on drugs right now, or like, you know, like what's really happening here? Because we really have to process that too, because you know what, you have people that go to church that are giving medicines because they see a therapist for their anxiety, or their like some kind of like other kind of psychological like thing that they've been diagnosed with, to suppress whatever it is that is happening for them that is an excess bata, like excess, like stream, like, oh, like it stops my dreams, or it stops my seeing things, like schizophrenia, like, you know, hearing things, like, you know. And I'm not saying that there's no chemical imbalances in people, that there are other reasons for certain things to be taken all out of, you know, like whatever, there's circumstances for everything. But you know, the conflict of the world, right, that we know up until date, the rough waters, the sailing at sea, like these events, these things, these waters that are like turbulent for so many, like it's being highlighted now, but from a much more evolutionized consciousness of the masses. Like, granted, yeah, there's still deaf, deaf, blind, and dumb, right? That way, hear no evil, say no evil, speak no, whatever. Like, so right. Listen, I'm losing it because I'm thinking now too much. But yeah. So increase, decrease effects that are happening. Like, in order to make room for something new, you have to get rid of the old. In order, like, you know, so going back to when I was saying about never think you can judge someone's evolution based off of what you think you see now, because you never know spirit's direction for them. They may have appeared to have been all that and never be able to reach whatever certain plateau you believe yourself to be on, or wherever it is that you be on. That's why I've been staying in my lane. Like, I can't even say that based off of a person's stupidity that I meet with now, that they can't evolutionize into something far greater than themselves. I would only hope so. That's the seeds I sow. Like, you know, even if you're an asshole, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just about understanding right now that the masses, usually the dead fish that swim with the flow, the zombie apocalypse, the sleepers, they're a lot more awakers, even though they might be, if you want to go into this plateau of like just knowledge based system of knowings, and again, because this is growing and everybody's level of growing and knowing is different, like depending on your level of sowing and what you do, like here, and they're awakening to a lot of other factors of heightened awareness that is happening for them here, to a system that's becoming more clear through the lens that they see out of Angel of the Four Directions. I'm even reading this, like just even like the Magician card, like the Four Directions, the gathering of the Aces of Pentacles, like the Aces of Pentacles, all the aces, like for peace and harmony, and like having direction with spirit, intention with spirit this time, and finding that, look at true, like I even see love, like being like highlighted here, but there's a system that's corrupt here, you know what I mean? And I'm not attacking again like our system, like to be like, oh, here fighting for a cause, because there's a lot of fear behind that. That's why it's created, so that you don't question the system of anything. But here we have, like, again, going back to when I was saying about the angel descendant masters and all this kind of stuff, like when I was building communication and well, not building, because it's always there. If you want it, just handle it with care and just get to know it better, so that you can call it whatever it is that you're going to call it for yourself, or see it for whatever it is that you're ready to see it as, because you see as you are and what you're ready for, like, so it's always going to grow as you're ready to grow. We're being led by divine source guidance, like of different energies that we're tapping into, that we're able to identify, because we're actually allowing the identification process to take place without having any kind of fear-based or restrictions to how we're going to go about and do these kind of things. Like, because if I don't do, then who will? If not now, then when? And if not who, what, where, when, why? Like, if I'm not asking these questions, who is for me thinking in the best, wanting the best for me? Like, because if you leave it to a society of people or things or whatever, what you don't do, somebody else will do for you. And what you don't know for yourself, somebody else will tell you who you are. Like, you know what I mean? If you don't know you, somebody else will tell you who you are. That kind of thing, like, family, friends, and guides. So here we are tuning into this spirit of life, like communing and communicating, like with family, friends, and guides, like getting into a better position with ourselves, like even just the divine feminine energies. Right now, the loving woman is also under attack. Right, the divine masculine energies are under attack, in terms of like of allowing their energies just to radiate in this loving kind of way. No, instead, fear is being brought to the surface, worry is being brought to the surface, instability is being brought to the surface, so that these people don't operate from these positions of alchemy that they've worked very hard for. Like, think about it. Like, you've come to this point of life where you have grown so much, emotionally, spiritually, like, mentally, like, on every single different level, mind, body, heart, and soul, like infusions. Like, you have been doing your work, your worth, every part of it. You've come from, what place you've come from. You've seen your growth, you've seen your evolution, you're acknowledging you're in a different state of place. You are glowing, you are glowing up. Like, there's a lot of glow ups happening at this time for so many. And so, how do we stop that? Right. Let's make it nearly impossible, and let's drop it like it's hot. Stop it. Like, let's, like, create the energy that they're familiar with, because they react to it to keep it this way. So there's been a lot of growth, evolution happening at this time, changes in spaces and places. Like we're living, we're shifting. Like the energetic field that we're all operating in is not the field we were operating in 20 years ago. It's already changed. We may not see it, you may think new earth. We are on a new earth. Trust. And it's changing rapidly every freaking day. That's why it's playing this way. It's like the plague in every kind of way. You know, you can look at it, it's play around with the words. It's symbolic. Live symbolically, okay? Go deeper. It's multi-dimensional here. It's quantum physics at its finest. It's poetic finest. Right? So, like, let's fudge around with their energy fields, because there's a lot of glow-ups happening, and we cannot let this happen. But again, that's a systematic way of thought process that might not really exist and may have been just created in the collective systems that just resist it. Doesn't matter where the truth came from or where it comes from. It's just a matter of identifying what is for you and what's not for you, and making use of whatever is going to be of useful for you by setting your intentions and stuff like that too. But either way, we're in this quarantine state of time, and so now we're being presented with this life of challenge that's happening at this time, that it even challenges those that have gotten to this space of a place of alchemy, that their glow-ups have been, and you know, and then here we are, challenger, being challenged by everyone. So the energies are been heavy lately, especially for many sensitives like you and I, tuning into this channel at this time. Even if we continue on with our life and do what it is that we have to do, it's been a little slightly of a struggle too, to keep up with the momentum too, to keep up with the energy levels needed to complete and be all that you can be, and do all that you can do. Because bam, bam, here you go. Deal with this, deal with this, deal with this kind of thing. Right? It's the system that's resistant to the shifting of the new earth that is. You know what I mean? These dark thoughts, the loving woman. Okay, so feminine energy is getting sucked in kind of to any kind of dark thoughts that might plague their mind at this time, that will keep you away from the blessings that are already here, that are yours, that you will still receive. So might as well not create a other future of another reality that goes to the timeline of these now things that will be made manifest eventually, because what goes around comes around, you know what I'm saying? So getting into that kind of just knowingness for your own sake. Okay, this is almost 20 minutes too. Professional assistance, dark thoughts. Okay, like even the distractions. Going back, I know that this is just on a babble kind of rant, but you know what? I'm not gonna even go into here because this is 19 minutes, my dears. So guess what? There's a video number 3.